What's going on, everybody? It's been a while since we've come down a little bit from the height that we've been with the prices of the IEMs that we've been reviewing. But it's really cool because I have companies reach out to me, and that allows us to do all different types of price ranges. And I'm excited to jump into this one. So this is around the $100 price range. KZ reached out to me, and I've heard a lot of things about KZ, but I've never tried out one of their IEMs. So they were nice enough to send me one of their newer ones, the AM16 enhanced bass version. So it's always fun for me to try out new brands, and special thanks to KZ for sending these out. But as you can tell, today's review is going to be on the KZ AM16 enhanced bass version. Alright, so the KZ AM16. It retails for $88.99, I see on Amazon right now. It's got 16 balanced armatures per side. Alright, so let's get to the unboxing. You get a pretty simple black box. You've got your information here on the side. Slip it off, and then you can see your IEMs. Lift this clear piece off, and then you have your IEMs here, which luckily you can lift out and then pop out through here. Good looking IEM. You can see inside to see what you're working with here. And then there's the top. Alright, so that was a close-up of them. You lift this part up. I've already opened it up, but you'll get a bag that has your tips in it. And you'll also get a bag that has your wire. So it's a pretty simple unboxing. Alright, so let's talk about fit and finish. Again, a very good-looking IEM. I'm always a sucker for an IEM that has a clear back, or semi-clear back, so I can see everything that's going on inside, because it's fascinating how they put everything in, shove it into such tiny little things to create such big sound. So that's that. I would say it's a medium-sized IEM, and I haven't had any fit issues. They're very, very light, so that's been good. One thing though, the cable that comes with it is very thin. Give me a second. And a little bit on the plasticky side, which if you've watched my channel, it's one of the things that I kind of don't like. But I haven't had any microphonics issue. It's just it feels very, very plasticky. But other than that, not bad. All right, so let's talk about the sound on the AM16. In a sense, I kind of wish there's a bass enhanced version and there's a balanced version. And I kind of wish they had sent me the balanced version, because it would fit probably 80 to 90% of my catalog. That being said, though, I'm glad they sent the bass version, because it actually took me way back into my music. But more on that later. Let's talk about bass, mids, treble. But I'm going to start with mids. We're going to start in the middle this time, because for the price point of, let's say, around $100, man, these mids. Separation, detail, width, depth, like everything and anything that you would want when it comes to classical, throw in some Max Richter, Bill Lawrence, or if you want to move into vocal with some Billie Eilish, Billie Holiday, like just run the gamut. It does it extremely well. The mids are just very, very nice, especially at this price point. Like they shoot above, the mids do. Now, if we go to something like the bass, it hits pretty hard, like almost to bass head levels when it comes to it. And these are balanced armatures, and I will say the implementation of balanced armatures compared to like a DD, they do really, really well. Sometimes it's a little bit pillowy, and some of the effects, like it's a little bit fast, so the decay that you would expect from a DD is not going to be as long, but I would say the implementation, especially at this price point, is very, very good. Just a little bit of, if I'm being really, really nitpicky. If I'm not being nitpicky, then you can jam out to these. The treble has nice air, nice extension, but I feel it's just a slightly, if I'm being nitpicky, it's slightly dark. I would like to have a little bit more sparkle. But that's being nitpicky because honestly, if you're just there to listen and enjoy the music, then these things are really, really good. I truly enjoyed them. And as I mentioned earlier, it made me go back and listen to a lot of music that I listened to as a younger person. Specifically, I don't know why I went down this hole with Teddy Riley. Teddy Riley was, if you don't know, a music producer, but he also had a band named Guy, and he had another one, the No Diggity, No Doubt. I can't remember the name of the group, but Mint Condition. It took me down this road. Then I started listening to some Timbaland, and he's another huge producer that did a lot of stuff. And what it just does this music, especially bassy style music, but with great vocals, because the bass is there and it's prominent, but it doesn't obscure the mids, which is very important because if you're an all-around music player, you don't want anything to get in the way of other things. And stuff like, you listen to Cry Me a River with Timbaland and Justin Timberlake, a lot of times people don't realize when he's doing the sounds, Timbaland is in the background, the beat to it. There's so many sounds that he's making with his mouth. And it comes together in this huge chorus, and it's really great how it projects. But you need a lot of separation or it can get muddy and things like that. And there's so much air between his vocals and the different sounds, Justin Timberlake singing, and then the rest of the instruments. It's a great test track. And these, again, for a $100 set, these things do extremely, extremely well. Like this, I've talked about before that a few sets, kind of like the P5, the awful P5 plus 2, and then the 3DD one for like $50. I can't remember the name of it, but there are a few sets that are at an extraordinary low price compared to all the crazy stuff that we review that make you question why spend more, because the tuning is so good. And again, if I wanted to be nitpicky, there are a couple things that I've already mentioned, but when it comes to just total sound, sitting back, turning on your tunes and enjoying, I would say the AM16, the KZ AM16 is excellent with that. Just, if you're there for the music and not the gear, then it's a really, really great IEM. And I enjoyed going back. Now, if I go back to the 80% that I listen to most time, then it's going to be a little bit elevated. It's not one that's going to get out of the way of things like if you have cello, like in classical, it's going to be prominent. The basses are going to be prominent. Excuse me. The lower register instruments are going to be boosted because it's boosted. So it's not going to get away with that. So if that's what you mainly listen to, then it might be an issue. But if you listen to stuff like R&B, soul, hip hop, things like EDM, then it's going to be great. And it would be cool. And I know they have some switches on KZs, but it would be really cool if there was a one switch, kind of like the Monarch 4, where you can have kind of like a neutral balance and then you've got the rumble switch. That would be awesome. Because that would be, you could have the balance KZ and then you can have the enhanced bass KZ all in one IEM. And they might already have it because I know they do use a lot of switches. But that would be a great idea because you would have two IEMs that could probably cover 100% of what you listen to. So good job, KZ. It was a nice one to have for the first time. And there were a couple quibbles there, but that's okay. Nothing is perfect, right? But great job on the AM16. It, again, is one of those ones that has me questioning why spend more and more and more and more money on IEMs when you can get the musical satisfaction. So, would it be a buy for you? If you were someone who doesn't want to spend the extraordinary amounts of money that some IEMs cost, and $100 can fit into your budget, then this is one of these ones, again, like I say, it has you questioning why spend more because it's tuned so well. Specifically, if you're like bass heavy genres, then it can do extremely well for that. And if you do listen to a lot of classical stuff, just know it's going to be enhanced. So it might not be great for that, but for those bass-driven genres, it's a great set. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and I will see you in the next video.